Hey guys, it's Monday, it's a brand new week, and it's another week of Double Tap. Let's do it!
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Oh, hello, Shaun Preece. How are you?
No, I know. I feel exactly the same. I'm not feeling it this week, and we've only just started, I've got to say.
It's only the first minute of the first episode, and you're not feeling it. Oh, this is boding well.
Low energy. What can I say? You know what I've done? You know what I've turned into? Do you know what I've become, Stephen Scott?
Oh, I could tell you, but I'd rather you told me so that we're definitely on the right page.
I've become one of those people. I've started taking protein shakes. Have I said that?
Oh, what? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
No, you're going to start. This is it now. He's going to bring his fitness routine, and then he's going to tell us, wait for it. He's going to tell us soon that he journals. He gets up in the morning and he journals.
I haven't gone that far. All right, give me some credit.
Give it time. You're going to be in that Apple Journal app going, this is great. Gordon and Anthony was right.
I've got one of those massive barrels on my worktop in the kitchen full of some sort of terrible tasting powder that I put into a bottle and drink every morning because apparently it gives you more energy and enables you to have a harder, stronger workout. I feel terrible. So, I've become one of those people.
This is what I don't get about you, right? You go into the gym every day. You're now a gym bunny.
Can
we still say that? Is that still allowed? I don't even know what you can say anymore.
I think you've just been cancelled, Stephen Scott.
Oh, thank God. I was looking forward to a lie-in. That'll be good tomorrow. Looking forward. Oh, I don't have to get up now till 10 tomorrow. It'll be wonderful. Hang on. No, I've been told it's fine. Right, we're all back tomorrow. No, look, you're a gym bunny. You're always up there. You're always doing the gym thing. And I would have expected by this point that you were, mentally bouncing off the walls. Like, you'd be coming in here doing the show. You'd be like, right, I've got 15 ideas and I've got 100 thoughts and I've read all these news articles. And to be honest, you're just exactly the same.
Exactly the same. I'm lighter, but still exactly low energy and absolute aching all the time as well. So, it's a terrible idea. Fitness.
Yeah, so forget it.
Don't do it, kids.
I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. I'll say this. I feel like a little aeroplane flying along on a nice sunny day, a little bit of wind, knocking you sometimes from side to side, a little bit of, left to
turbulence.
Right. A little bit of turbulence occasionally, usually after a chicken. And, that's fine. And then, all's good. It's always that kind of level feeling, right? Whereas you're all over the place.
I'm like a roller coaster. I'm up and down around the bend. Yeah, I know.
And it's not improving for you. It's not. What I'm saying is we should become the anti-exercise show over here.
There you go. There's a new show coming soon. There's not enough days in the week anymore. We can't fit another one in.
I know how we're going to do that. If I get any more ideas, we have to start cutting shows.
Sign or give. It's fine. No, exercise. It's very good. I do feel better. Thank you, everyone. And you should exercise. It's good for you.
Oh, listen, I meant to say there was a bunch of emails come in. I know Gordon was one of them. There were others, people who got in touch, who said, what are you talking about, Shaun Preece, regarding the Notes app?
Oh, it's awful, isn't it? No one uses it. That's correct.
No,
that's
people
factual.
love the Notes app. The Notes app is great. It was Tim. That's right. It was Gordon and it was Tim who got in touch and said, you know what? The Notes app is great. I love the Notes. I use it every day.
Yeah. Well,
every day.
You're going to get outliers in every aspect of human existence, and people using the Notes app is one of them. It's just absolutely awful.
In fairness, Shaun, let's get real, right? Let's just between you and I, right? Forget the audience for a minute. Guys,
I'm getting defensive.
Tune away for a minute. Just go and do something else. Leander, go and do something else while you're listening to this, right?
Okay.
Go, just do something else. Here's the thing: you don't take notes.
No,
you don't do anything like that.
Oh, don't do anything. Just leave it there. Okay, no, that's fine.
I thought I'd like that because I thought that would soften that blow a little bit. God, it's like one of those Netflix fights, isn't it? The Antua Joshua. Is that his name? Versus the other guy who was an internet sensation and got beaten senseless in the first 5 minutes.
All right, stop it.
Did you watch that?
Of course I didn't watch it. No, absolutely not. Just because I drink protein shakes now. No.
I was going to say, you'll be right up there. You'll be going up against Mike Tyson next. That I have to say, if we were doing double tap fight.
Pay-per-view, I'll do it.
Oh, we could make millions.
There we go. Let's set that up. Can we do that?
That's a great idea.
Right, okay.
Right, hang on, I'm getting him on the phone. Hang on, here he is. Yeah, let's see what he has to say about this.
He's a big fella. I take that back.
Actually, Mr. P, that's you, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, Mr. P.
Where's my jingle?
Mr. F.
There you go. Well, if there's money in it, let's do it. I'm calling you out, Mr. F.
Now, remember, you'll get 10%.
So sorry.
You'll get 10%. Negotiating that's non-negotiable, and that's a fair rate, I think.
Oh, of course. And you get 89%.
90.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
My idea.
We'll sort it out. Feedback at doubletaponair.com. Do you want to see that? Please say no.
So why don't you use the notes? I love the notes. I will admit, it was...
It's fiddly. I'll just get straight into it. It's fiddly. I don't understand it. Mind you, I haven't spent any time whatsoever trying to learn it.
Yeah. So we're not going to take your view very seriously.
It's just fiddly. All I want is Notepad on the iPhone. That's it.
I will
not
be
text,
honest. I
not
think
text
it's
edit.
better on the Mac. I think it is better on the Mac because the thing with when they brought in Windows spots on the Mac a couple of years back, when they
What are you
kind of
talking about?
on the Notes app on the Mac.
Notes is on the Mac. I thought it was
Yes.
just text edit.
What?
It's
Notes
notes
app,
actually
it's across all the platforms.
Oh, yeah, of
it's
course
on
it is.
iPad, it's
Yeah,
on
no.
Mac, it's
Yeah.
even on the Watch now.
awful on all of them. Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
understand the note. I don't understand the watch thing. Don't get that. But I suppose it's handy for shopping list or whatever. But I use it. I
What
use it all the
notes are
time.
you making then?
Well, so we have this little show here that we do, and,
What, and
I like to take
you make the
notes.
notes in the Notes app, do you?
I do.
Okay. Well, then there's
All the notes that we create. In fact, all the stuff I do with the show notes, for example, like the
Yes.
notes you read on the podcast and YouTube, those get created in there. No, I will admit,
don't believe you.
AI has a part to play in that. It creates it and
What?
then throws it into a note, and then I edit them in there. Yeah, of course.
Why don't you use
You think
text
I
edit?
can write that?
Why don't you use text edit?
Well, I could use text edit, but
Yes,
I
you
use
could.
notes because I can create a
it's
collection.
worse.
I can share. I can collaborate with people. So those
I've never got
those-
a collaboration on our
those-
show notes ever.
Absolutely not. I'm not letting you anywhere near it. Plus, you don't like the app. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, what's that? And then any money, he'll start using it and go, this is the best app ever. I didn't know.
I don't take notes. I live life like whose line is it anyway? I'm improving all the way. That's why
I know
it's
you are.
always
I know you
terrible,
are.
my life.
I know you are. I remember that day in the hotel. Can you find your way back to the room? Okay, sure. And then he started feeling every single wall for a staircase. And I thought, okay, he's going to be here a while. I'm going to leave him to it. I think you found your room that night.
The cleaners weren't very happy with me.
No, I can imagine.
I barged into them. Anyway, I'm happy. Can we move on now? What are we doing today?
I think we're going to get into the emails because I'll be honest, I think the audience are smarter than us. And, I don't have much. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I haven't done anything over the weekend. I've
No.
obviously not bought
quiet
anything.
one.
Have you bought anything?
I was thinking this the other day. Have I bought anything recent?
No. Okay.
I bought a plug socket. Does that count?
A what?
Well, like a power bar. See, I was going to buy one of those smart power strips.
Oh, you got to buy a... what are you talking about? You've got to buy one of those. They're great.
I was just thinking, what am I plugging into this? I'm plugging in my coffee machine. I'm never going to switch that off. So,
Hey,
I
Lady
thought-
A, turn on coffee pot.
But it's not a coffee pot. It's just a coffee 1 cup. It's not even a coffee machine. It's
Kettle
a 1 cup.
is what it is.
Basically a kettle, yeah. And it doesn't control. It's not controlled by a smart
Hey, Lady
plug.
A, turn off kettle.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything. Well, I was going to turn it off and then great, and I need to turn it on again. And then the internet goes down and I can't, get my coffee. It'd be a disaster.
You're just like a caveman.
No, do you know? I'll tell you what it was. When you go onto the store that sells everything, when you start searching for these things, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a lot of names of products in there, brands of products I have never heard of. If I'm plugging something in my house, I like the idea of my house, still being there when I return the next
Oh,
day.
no. Absolutely
I know
ridiculous.
you don't care,
I
but,
bought the
I do.
cheapest, no-brand power strip, smart power strip, mind you, I could find on there. And when I plug things into it, I've almost got to hammer them in because it's like plugging into sand. But it works. And, the shed's still
Plugging
here. so-
into sand. Wow.
yeah, it doesn't
Well, that's
feel great.
fabulous.
There's no... Yeah.
Because it's cheap rubbish.
What? It's cheap, yes. Rubbish? Well, I mean...
Yes, it's rubbish.
It works.
And you know what? You spend a little bit more. So I bought Belkin power plugs. Now, they're not
Oh,
smart.
here he is. Yeah, okay.
But I know.
The Gucci of tech. Yes.
Comes
go
with
on.
a 30-year guarantee. Now, I don't know what that 30-year guarantee is involved. I always think to myself, right, I love these things that say, like, 30-year guarantee.
Lifetime.
You know, if your house burns to the ground, call us. And the thing is, okay, so I've given you a call now because my house is burnt to the ground. Okay, can you send us in the information about your Belkin? Well, if you can find it amongst the ashes, then yes. I mean, obviously I don't have the box anymore, so how do you prove? I never understood
Well,
that.
when you say guarantee...
How do you make them responsible for it? I don't get that.
A lot of the guarantees you get with power strips are to do with the surge protection. So if you get a power spike or hit by lightning or whatever it may be, and your equipment that's attached to it blow up and it doesn't save them, they will replace that. That's usually the guarantee they're talking about. With
Not so much houses burning to the ground.
Not so much that, no, Stephen Scott.
Right. Okay.
That
All
doesn't
right. Well,
happen
that's good
very
to know.
much.
No, that's good to know because I think, you know, I'm a little bit safety conscious these days. I've never had a situation, never had a concern, but the one thing they always say, if you've got something plugged in, if the wire, this is how you know if you've overloaded a circuit, if your wire from the plug to the thing, you know, the power strip, is warm, you've got a problem.
Oh, well, I'm not touching it. I'm scared stiff to touch the tangle of wires down there. I'm not going to feel it.
The other week, actually, I met someone who is a fire officer here in Scotland.
Oh.
And he was telling me some of the ways that, you know, or some of the worst house fires that he's been to.
Oh, what a lovely conversation to have.
Well,
I mean,
you know, it's always interesting, right? Because you kind of learn things and you think, oh, that's interesting. He said, you know, cheap USB power sockets or little power plugs that you buy. He said, those, nightmare. He said, the amount of fires I've been to as a result of those, where people leave them plugged in. He says, it's not so much that they're being used, it's that they're being used and left in all the time. People never unplug them.
I will say this, yes, I am very, very cheap. I do love a bargain, but when it comes to battery packs, battery chargers, whatever you want to call them, power banks, and also the USB mains plug that you plug your cables in to charge, it's always best going for a name, be that Belkin, Anchor, whatever. But if you go for the cheap ones, I don't like that either because, you know, they're cheap because they use cheaper components and sometimes there's a lot of power going through them depending on what you're using them for. So,
and I'm talking here about the little ones with the USB sockets in the bottom, you know.
Well, the trouble is with USB-C now, and even USB-A to a degree, I mean, I've got some 65-watt ones. I've got some 45-watt ones for powering, you know, fast charging. I've got so many laptops now are USB-C powered. So you need a 65-watt, let's say, to charge up your laptop decently. And that can generate a lot of heat. You're not talking 5 volts anymore, you know, your little...
No. So that's what I think people think when they think USB, right? They think, oh, it's just a small amount of power, but it's not. I mean, like a laptop or whatever. You know, I mean, I've got one of those little, I think you've got the same one, actually. It's either Anchor or Ugreen I've got on my desk.
The Ugreen power bank.
And it's the one that, you know, they call it a GAN. You've probably seen this name a lot, GAN, G-A-N. And basically it's a little power unit where you can plug in USBs to it. So you've got, like, I think there's 2 USB-As on it and there's 3 or 4 USB-Cs. And you can just power loads of different, like, phones. That's what it's for. Phones, even a laptop it can handle. And it will tell you on the box what it can actually power. And some of them are very powerful. They can power loads of different things. Those I find a little bit safer for me. Again, you've got to be careful because there's so many. I just been out there to people because, you know, the temptation is to always go cheap. But you've got to be careful with this, especially when you're plugging it into your house. And the other thing that the fire officer told me that I thought was quite interesting was that he said one of the other problems is people who leave their phones uncharged through the night. Now, you might think, well, okay, really? But not so much leaving the phone uncharged through the night. People who leave their phone under their pillow. Apparently that's a big
What's
thing.
wrong with that?
Yeah, heat build-up. Starts fires. He says, I've been to a lot of house fires as a result of a phone under a pillow left on charge overnight, and sometimes even without charge overnight.
Well, I just say, I don't
incredible.
like this fireman. I'm just saying that. Tavish McFireface, or whatever his name was.
Tavish McFireface.
He sounds like a complete downer. What a guy to meet at a party.
I'll be honest, you know, firemen generally are a little bit safety conscious, you know.
What you say, safety conscious, sounds like he's telling you horror stories just to scare you.
I was interested. I thought it was interesting. Did you find that interesting?
Yeah, no, it's very, very interesting. You'll be fine. You haven't started to become one of these people that go around unplugging things at night, have you?
No, I am not one of those people. But my wife is. My wife likes every plug in the house unplugged.
You can't do that anymore. Not in today's modern world. You can't unplug things.
Here's the one that this will make you itch when I tell you this one.
Yes.
She unplugs the Lady A's.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's
I'm so
fun.
sorry, but that's just wrong. That's grounds for divorce.
Yeah, there's been some serious conversations. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've not really won any of them.
No.
And we're still unplugging everything. I mean, obviously,
Yes.
my views are irrelevant, but I do make my case every so often.
Yes. Under your breath.
I mean,
to an empty room. Yes.
What I try to explain is, we have power switches in the UK with our plug sockets, so we can switch the socket off, meaning no power's getting to it, which is great. But she still wants the plug out as well. And I'm like, yeah, but it's turned off. There's no way power's going to get to it. I mean, if it gets to the point where the house is, hit by some bolt of lightning, which, causes some electrical surge, I think we've got bigger problems.
Yeah, there is absolutely no need to unplug things, by the way.
No,
you don't.
Not when they're switched off.
No.
Or even switched on in most cases. I mean, you gotta be... It's funny, though, it always fascinates me what we leave plugged in. Even people who are really worried about plugs. Like, no one unplugs the fridge. No one unplugs the freezer.
But it's on 24/7.
machine.
What about the
They're the most powerful
risks?
things we've got in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Do you unwire the cooker at night? Just
That's
in
right.
Case
It's like,
draws
why
a lot
do we
of power.
turn all this stuff off?
Yeah. Sarah constantly switches the light switch on the on the smart light bulbs. Switches it off. So anytime you say turn the lights on,
yeah.
it says,
Nothing works.
can't connect. There's no. Make sure it's on. Yeah, of course, because they keep turning it off on the light switch. Anyway, yes, people are terrible. We're great. Yes.
I will say one thing. Ring doorbell. If you haven't got the AI function turned on yet, which allows you to get information about who's at your door, I mean, it gives you what I would call, basic information. It's quite concise, which I quite like, actually. But the other day, for example, because my mother and father have got a Ring doorbell and it's attached through our account, you can share, so you can see, if you want to see the other person's Ring doorbell. I could tell the other day who was at the door. It said a person with a red jacket. So, of course, I know well. And yeah, exactly. I know that's going to be the postman in the UK, the red jacket, unless they've changed it. But I think it's still a red jacket. But, even the other day when I got a parcel coming to the door, it actually read out. It was DPD, which is a courier company here. And
that's cool.
Actually said on the... Oh, I played it. Remember, I let you hear it. You probably weren't listening.
No.
But maybe you could take a note in your notes app next time, or in your journal. But yeah, it read out DPD. It said, a van parked outside, a number of cars parked outside in a parking lot, which I thought was quite funny.
Oh, so American.
And then it just read out DPD, which means immediately, oh, cool, that's the parcel. So those kind of things are handy. If it's someone from Amazon, if it is an Amazon delivery, it will say there's an Amazon delivery person at your door holding a package.
This is a disgrace. I've got the cheaper version. I've got the
no
Blink.
surprise there.
I've got the Blink video doorbell, which is very good. I don't have any of these AI features. Why not? Why
my
not?
favorite. I think I said to you the other day, my favorite one was it said it was a vehicle in the garden, which, as I say, that would have meant the car would have been dropped from outer space to get into my garden. There's no way you could drive a car in. But I do love it when the dogs are out in the garden, because every so often it will just say, a black and white dog and a beige dog are playing in the garden. And I like that. That's nice.
That is nice. Yeah, no, that is a very cool feature. I can see that being very useful.
Now, I think it depends on the age of your doorbell. Some people on Mastodon I was telling about it were saying, well, I don't have that feature. So I don't know if all doorbells have it. I think I'm not on the latest one, I'll tell you that. I know I'm not on the latest Ring doorbell.
You? Not on the latest one?
No, I'm not. Well,
That's
it's not something you would
disgrace.
change all the time. It's not something you would shift or change. And once it's up there till it dies. The only thing I did when we got some work done to the house, and the one thing I did do was get it wired in, because I was getting sick of constantly changing the battery.
Changing the batteries, yeah. That is... You know what? The Blinks run off AA batteries. But
That's great.
They last a year. Yeah, but you still got to get the stepladder out, go and get them. I've got security cameras, not just a doorbell. I've got security cameras all around the house.
All over the place.
So, but it's easy enough.
Is it keeping an eye on your compound?
It is, yes, absolutely right. Keeping me safe and secure, Stephen Scott.
By terrifying you every time someone walks past it.
Do you know what, though? I opened the Blink app, which is very accessible, right? And you can go through and I can see the back garden, the driveway, the garage, the shed. The shed has its own camera.
Oh.
And when I click on the live view, if I put focus on the what, I don't know, what do you call it? The viewfinder, let's put it that. If I put focus on the screen, it will describe it to me because I've got image recognition on. So
Yes.
it will say, but it's very basic. But still, there is a way to get a description of what's going on.
Well, that's the thing. So you get not only the information from the ring itself, which will give you scant information, you can, of course, do that as well. The other way to do it, which is sometimes what I do, the other day, for example, I wasn't sure if it was icy or whether I knew it was snowing, but I didn't know how deep the snow was. And so I just took a screenshot and sent it to Be My Eyes. And it told me, what it saw, which of course was far more detailed. And then I said, okay, what's the snow situation? How deep is the snow? And, it came back with an answer, which when I went outside seemed to marry up. So, yeah.
As the Bee Gees
Ways to
once
do it.
said, how deep is the snow? Yeah, very good.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Emails,
Wow.
you say?
Yeah. I think we're running on empty here. Let's carry on.
Email.
Oh, dear.
We get your email every day.
Bing bong.
Here's your mail today.
Who's there? Boosh.
The listeners are here to save us. Thank God. Yes. What was the other thing? I was going to tell you something else. You got me
Take
thinking
time.
about.
That's all right. Have a think. We've got plenty of time.
I like to tell you stories when I remember them.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll
terrible
come back
ones
to it, I'm
about
sure.
catching fire or something.
Well, listen, this is a public service announcement brought to you by
Tavish
people at Double Tap.
McFireface.
Tavish
Okay.
McFireface. Right, let's go to our first message. Renee's been in touch from Kentucky.
Hey guys, this is Renee from Kentucky.
Hey.
I was just listening to all the comments about the wearable glasses and people not being happy with the ones that are coming out. And that reminded me of my Victor Stream. I have a Victor Stream 3 and there's bugs in it that is still not corrected. Every time I call about it, they say, got to wait for the update. And so the Victor Stream 3's been out well over a year, and there's still the same bugs. And so on Shaun's point about is it acceptable, do I accept it? Well, I'm way past the time about sending it back. And there's other features I really like. The Bluetooth is very good. The downloading books is very quick. Downloading podcasts is very quick. And it's a great machine, but there's still some bugs in it that would be nice to have fixed. But I love your show. Keep up the great work. And congratulations, Stephen, on your dog. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you, Renee. Appreciate that. Yeah, the dog is happy. Well, it's hard to know with a dog, isn't it? I mean, they don't tell you
Yeah,
anything.
there's a thing called a tail, and sometimes it wags.
Well, the tail wags.
And the fact that you don't know that is slightly concerning.
Well, I'm aware.
Don't know how you qualified.
Hang on a minute. Sorry. We just discussed, how to keep your house from burning to the ground,
Yes.
and I've been giving you important tips, and now you're accusing me of not knowing how a dog works.
Yes. How do dogs work? Feedback at doubletaponair.com. Sorry, carry on.
This is an interesting one. So comparisons to mainstream tech bugs and specialist tech bugs, that's an interesting one because I think we tend to have a little bit more patience. Well, some of us do have a little bit more patience around, bugs when it comes to specialist tech. I know when the Victor Reader Stream 3rd generation came out, there was a lot of criticism of some
Yes.
of the bugs. And I think I think all of it was fair, actually, because this product obviously had been developed for a long time. The previous edition, the 2nd generation, came out 10 years earlier. So, production had taken longer than Apple had taken in building a car they never released.
Well, they had lots of time to iron out the bugs then, didn't they?
Yeah, well, that's the point, right? So, they could have sorted a lot of this stuff before it was released or held it back a year to, it's not like, if you'd waited 10 years, you could probably wait 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you're right. It's important that you do make that distinction between mainstream and assistive tech, I think. Usually I don't like that distinction, but I mean, there is a difference in the communications and the interactions that we have with those companies because they are usually smaller companies. And I think, we're usually, if there is a bug on release, they know about it straight away, and their the communication is usually pretty good, usually. But when it comes to something like this, how long has the Victor Reader Stream 3 been out? It's longer than a year, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, it's been out longer than that. But what I'm saying is that, the previous edition was 10 years prior that it came out, and then the new version was released 10 years later as a result.
And we had the conversation at the time of release when there was those bugs with it about, well, should they have just held it back? It's not like they released it and were surprised by those bugs. I don't believe that. I believe, these were tested before going, here you go, try it. So I believe
it wasn't just like chucked out. I mean,
so they knew the bugs were there and they thought it was still okay to put it out there. And we had a conversation about that at the time in the community as well. But I think, like, this far in, is it still acceptable if those bugs are still there? Now, I don't know. I don't use it, so I don't know what those bugs are. Is it still acceptable to say, well, there's an update coming out? What, really, still?
Again,
I don't understand.
Let's balance a little bit here. Get back in my little plane and go up in my nice sky.
Go on,
balance out,
level us out.
Because, look, again, it depends on what the bugs are. They have fixed a lot of the bugs in this. I know that because they've been releasing updates to fix a number of bugs. So what I would say to you, Renee, is just make sure that you're checking regularly for software updates, because you can, of course, now do that over the air, which was one thing with the previous edition you couldn't do. So now you can just get those updates, and if there is an update, install it and go from there.
He spoke to them. He spoke to them directly.
I'm saying that because, again, the amount of times... I'm sorry, but the amount of times people have said to me, this doesn't work, or I can't get this, or this is not working. It's your software update. Yeah, I've done all that. I've gone through it. And then eventually you find something hasn't been updated. So I'm just putting it out there that is an area
it's a general
you might
rule
want to
of
check.
thumb.
Now, there might be something wrong with the device in itself. Maybe that particular device has got an issue that perhaps it needs to be going back. Now, Renee, you say you've spoken to them. That's great. And I think that is great, actually, because keep the conversation going rather than, telling us is great, and please do, because we can, further the conversation, hopefully, and HumanWare will be listening to this. They often do. But, the point is, be in touch with them, tell them the issues. What I would say is, I think the ultimate question, not what I would say, the question I think we need to put out there is it acceptable that it sometimes takes a little bit longer for specialist tech companies to get to the solution than it would, say, for a mainstream tech company? And is that acceptable?
I think it is. Firstly, there's a lot of nuance to that, though, of the severity of the bug.
Yes.
And again,
is it making the device unusable? Is it stopping services? Yeah.
Exactly. Or does this bug mean that what it was sort of marketed and what was promised actually isn't there? Then I would say that's not really acceptable at launch. But the other nuance to this is how long is acceptable to fix something? I honestly don't know. A year? I'm not entirely sure. And again, we don't know what the bug that Renee is talking about is.
Yeah, tell us more, Renee. Get back in touch and tell us more about this, because I think we need to better understand what the issue is here from our point of view, so that we can, talk about it better. Because I think, ultimately, if it's a small thing that's just irritating, then it may be lower in their priority list than something bigger. And often what they'll try to do at these companies is they'll try and roll a number of things together rather than little itty-bitty updates along the way. They'll try and, release an update. They'll kind of have a plan in place, which will say, right, when we get to this point, we'll fix this, that, and this. And then we'll roll that into this update, and then that'll be released and solve all your issues. They are working. I know they work hard on this. They're working across their product portfolio to keep things up to date. It's not a huge team. I'm not making excuses for anyone. I'm really
Sounds
not.
like it.
No, I'm not. I'm genuinely not.
I'm joking.
If something is if something's a showstopper, and it's causing problems, and they're not responding, or they're not fixing it in a timely manner, that's not good enough. I don't know if that's the case here, is my point.
Well, so a bug can be subjective as well. Something that really irritates someone else. If there was a bug in the Notes app, for example, I could care less. But for someone else,
you could not care. You just sing your way through your day. Couldn't care less.
Someone else,
it's
it
like
might be
people who say to me about the iPhone lock
phone.
screen. Like on the iPhone lock screen thing, right, when it starts reading a message and then it cuts off.
Yes. Oh, awful.
I love that. I love that. Do you know why? Because it doesn't go, it's a long email. Because what happens is we get voicemails through, right, from our audience. And those voicemail messages it reads all this rubbish before it gets to the actual message, which is what I want to hear because it transcribes the message. But I wish it would put the transcript at the top. It doesn't. So you get all this rubbish at the top of, information about where the company is that sent the voicemail, this nonsense.
Yeah.
And so, but because of all that, it just reads. So I'm not going to read all that, especially not in that moment.
So you'd rather it just, your
so it
phone
cuts
just
off.
locked.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Love
it.
Okay.
Exactly. It's subjective.
Well, I find it awful. And okay. Yeah, we agree. It is subjective. Right. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Renee.
Don't know what we can take away from that, Renee. Sorry about that. We're all over the place.
And also, in fairness, I'm not sure when that came in. So maybe the issue's been resolved. That's the other side of it.
Yeah. Get back in touch and let us know. The thing is, though, you should always have the right to return it. But again, if a company said, I'm sorry, that bug we deem as not serious enough to warrant you, getting your money back, it's very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where you'd stand on that one. Because again, if it's a very specific, again, we need to know what it is. Right, look, let's move on. Coming up, we'll get into more of your emails.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback@doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Yeah, you can send a video message as well. No one does that. No one sends a video message. Send us a video message.
Nobody wants to do video. You can't see it. But please do.
but we're on YouTube. People might want to, see your beautiful face.
Yeah,
you've got to
if
put
you
up with
want to.
ours. So it'd be nice for someone else to have a go and actually, get us off screen for a minute or two. That'd be nice.
Yeah, feel free. You can send video messages through WhatsApp, and we can use them. So that'd be great.
But you don't have to, Sean. Don't force them.
Yeah, what's the matter with you? No one likes video. Sorry, carry on. I'm in a funny mood today. Have you noticed?
I've forgotten which side of that argument I was on. Right, okay, let's move on. Here's John.
Hey guys, it's John in Missouri with a couple of thoughts on some things you talked about on your November 27th program.
Wow. Okay.
One of them is shaving. Hey, I started out shaving with an electric razor, but when I was 19, going through rehab training to learn some independent skills, in comes a guy who became my roommate who had lost his sight, I don't know, a year or so before in an accident. And he was shaving with a blade, and I thought, well, if this relatively newly blinded guy could do it, so could I. So I started and found it wasn't as intimidating as I had thought it was. These days I kind of alternate between shaving with blades and an electric razor, depending on, what the situation is, what my schedule is, and so forth. I like the Harry's blades. They have 5 blades in each head, and they're really great. So I recommend something like that. As for Braille, on the subject of, older people maybe not reading Braille as intensely as younger people, you might have a point there, but I certainly agree with the idea that if we're not putting Braille out there and getting Braille taught, then we're really going to have problems. I wonder about these Braille displays like the Orbit readers and the Braille displays that are put out by Humanware and then ZoomX. Those are the 2 companies that our NLS, National Library Service for the Blind, has decided to distribute among the states here in this country. And I just wonder if these Braille displays are a little more fragile than people think. Because of one of the things that I do, I've had occasion to send off some Orbit Reader 20 plus units for repair to Orbit Research, and they're always good about repairing them. I have no beef against them at all, but I just wonder if sometimes these things maybe are prone to more problems than we think, and maybe we'll see this more as time goes on. I was thinking of the people at NLS and how if somebody's Braille display goes wacko, they can send it in and get another one, and my goodness, that must be a nightmare for them, because even though many of these Braille displays are probably on the lower end of the price scale, they're still not cheap to repair, and it does mean you're going to be without it for a while, and so on and so forth. And there are other things I could go into about these.
I just wonder, I'm not castigating the Braille displays necessarily because they're great as far as, the portability and being able to take Braille along that's not so bulky and all that. I really hope that the Monarch works out for the people that are getting it, whether it's schools or individuals or whatever. I certainly hope that those don't run into a lot of repair issues, as time goes on. I guess we'll see, won't we? Seems like these great ideas are indeed great ideas, and sometimes things don't always work out like we anticipate. Okay, that's the Mr. Negative in me coming out, I guess. Take it for what it's worth, guys. Any comments are certainly appreciated. Thanks again for the good work. Keep it up. Take care.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. And goodness me, I can't remember. It was back in November. It feels like yesterday we were talking about the shaving thing. Can't believe that's all that time ago.
Yeah, a wet shave is fine. Now, I will say something though. You said that your roommate came in and he was shaving with a blade. I mean, are we talking like Rambo here with a hunting knife and a piece of broken glass to shave, or are we talking, disposable safety razor, which is what I use, which is absolutely fine. Yes, I just find it quicker than using the electric. The electric razor takes, 3 times as long to get a decent shave, and even then, it's not, it's not smooth.
It always feels a bit like, when you have this conversation with men, it often feels like, suddenly you're deciding who amongst you is the most capable as a man. Like you say, you're walking in with a broken bottle, saying, I'll smash this off the desk and then shave my face with it. It's like, what on earth? I just use an electric shaver because I want to, shave and also not cut myself to ribbons.
Yeah, but as we talked about when it comes to decorating DIY, right? It's all about the touch for us. Everything is tactile.
Well, it still is with the electric shaver. It's
yeah, you have a
shave. I'm kind of following it with my hand. I'm like,
no, I'm not talking about the act of shaving. We all know that's a nonsense. You don't have to see what you're doing to shave, right?
No,
yeah, that's nonsense.
Obviously.
But what I'm talking about is the quality.
Well, that's not what my barber says. In fairness, he says, "Oh, you missed a bit." Yeah, thanks.
The quality of the shave, right? When you run your hand over your face after you have an electric shave, it's still stubbly. I don't like that. What's the point? Oh, it's fine. It looks fine, maybe. It looks fine, maybe. But with a wet shave, it's like a baby's bottom. It's so smooth. It's beautiful. It's kissable.
Why do I want that?
Because it's better. Obviously.
Kissable? What's wrong with you today?
I don't know.
Kissable?
Sorry. Yeah, I like having a kissable face. And on Braille displays, let's quickly move on.
Yeah,
on Braille displays, the trouble is, of course, Orbit did have a bit of a reputation at the start, and I think they've clawed that back. And as you mentioned, they are very happy to repair things, and they don't have that reputation as much anymore about reliability when it comes to the Orbit readers.
No.
But I think the trouble with all Braille displays is that it's mechanical. There's a lot of moving parts in there. I'm talking about the pins, of course, in the cell. And, with any mechanical moving part, you're going to have failures there. So, yeah, it is difficult. I don't think you're ever going to get around that reliability. Considering the amount of use they get, when you think, how many pins is in blimey, we've got maths coming up, Stephen Scott, get ready.
Let's say 6.
Let's make it easy.
Sometimes 8.
Oh, no, now it's 8. 20 cell with 8. What's that? 160 moving pins, refreshing.
20 multiplied by 8, so you carry the 4, you add the 9, and then so it's 1,050.
Right, and the amount of times they refresh, the amount of times they move, and plus you're rubbing your hands on there. There's some sort of friction. What I'm saying is there's always going to be mechanical failure in moving parts. So I think it's to be expected. But I think on the whole, they're pretty well made. Braille displays.
Yeah, I can't speak to it. I don't know. But I know from people who I've spoken to who work in the field of repair that they say that one of the things that comes back a lot is usually they come up, when the person receives it for repair, they're usually gummed up. People aren't cleaning their hands enough when they're using them. So you end up a little bit gummed up.
Wash your hands before using a Braille display.
Yeah, you apparently you would be surprised.
No, I'm against
it. Some of them are
full of gravy, chicken
Well, in
skin.
your case, yeah, I can only imagine, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
But no, I won't. Well, maybe I should I tell this story? I just remember once getting a Braille book, right? And I opened the book up.
Oh, no, please.
And let's just say it was a little bit greasy inside.
Mm-hmm.
The Braille was, it was like, I actually thought the book was Bambi on ice because, my fingers were skating all over the page. That's
not hygienic.
Beautiful. No, I know.
Is Stephen Scott now saying Braille books are unhygienic? We shouldn't use them.
Well, a lot of the organisations now don't produce. They produce them on demand. So it used to be the case.
They're
you would get a
printed
Braille
per
book
request.
that, someone would have the book, would give it back, and then the next person would get it. But they don't do that anymore, and that seems wasteful to me that they still do that. I think one of the arguments is hygiene, right? Which I kind of get, but also it's incredibly wasteful. The amount of paper that you're getting rid of, just, when you could easily give that book back. And we do have, still at least at the moment, have a postal system that would allow you to send it back to, say, the RNIB in the UK or wherever, and have that book lent out. I think the problem was, of course, not just hygiene, it was also storage of the books was a big problem at the time as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't want to have a dodgy USB charger in amongst that lot.
Oh, leave it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Another John here, Johnny P.
Hey, Stephen and Sean, or Sean and Stephen. This is Johnny P from Michigan again. I had a question for you. So I have an iPhone, and in the past, I've never put a passcode or anything on it. Recently, I used an AirTag, or actually a bargain brand AirTag, because my wife got a cheaper one off of Amazon. Anyway,
hooray!
To use that required setting up the passcode on your phone. I did that. I'm a VoiceOver user. And I got to say, it drove me nuts every time I went to open my phone, having to put the passcode in. You're using VoiceOver. It's not saying the number when you double tap it, but it's saying the number when you move to it. So if anybody was actually paying attention, they could hear what your passcode is.
Yes.
And you guys have been recently talking about Apple Pay and stuff. I assume if you had that set up, the phone would require a passcode, or it would actually be prudent to have one. So I was just curious, what do you guys use to keep your phone secure? Do you use the face recognition? Do you use the passcodes? Do you use something else? Because I got to say, it just drove me nuts when I had it on there. And I'd put my phone down, go on Facebook, put my phone down, get the passcode. Set it down. Oh, shoot, I didn't check my emails. Pick the phone up. A minute later, I got to put the passcode again. So anyway, just wondering. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I'm going to let you take this one, Sean, because I know I've got feelings and thoughts, but...
Have you got feelings, Stephen Scott?
I've got feelings. Feelings.
Okay, I totally sympathise with you, Johnny P, about the annoyance and frustration of trying to... Every time you want to use your phone and you pick it up, you go, oh, I've got to put that PIN code in. But that's where Touch ID, as it used to be, still available on some devices, but more so now Face ID comes in. So Face ID is what I'm using, and it works really well for me. I know some people say they do have problems with it, and I absolutely can see that. But once you get into the habit of, I pick up my phone, I press the side button, I'm basically just almost swiping it in front of my face. I don't have to make sure I'm framed up, and it seems to do it, 99% of the time. Now, with that said, the first time, if you turn your phone off, actually power it off and power it back on again, the very first time you still have to enter the PIN code before, you can enter your Face ID every time after that. But honestly, Face ID or Touch ID work incredibly well, and, I almost don't notice it anymore. Stephen?
Yeah, I get less success with it. More success than I used to. I don't know what's changed. I think the last update, perhaps, maybe it's improved a little bit. But, there are just these odd occasions where suddenly you're getting the passcode come up, which does infuriate me. Now, I mentioned this before. I use Split Tap, and I find that incredibly useful. Now, you don't have to do anything. Split Tap is just on by default. And what I do is I just run my finger across the screen, find the numbers, and then hold. So when one finger is holding on the number 1, let's say, giving away my passcode here, hold on the number 1, and then tap with the other finger. So you're holding with one finger on the number, and then you're using the other finger to tap on the screen, and you'll hear the little click, and then you know that you've put that number in, and just continue doing that until your passcode is in. You'll find if you try that a couple of times, you will notice that you're able to get that PIN code in much quicker. The problem is with the PIN codes area is when you're tapping the screen, if you're just tapping the number, you're putting the number in. And even then, sometimes it doesn't do it. Now, I've heard sometimes, you hit a number and it doesn't go in, or you've put the number in twice by accident. It can be really infuriating. So I prefer the split tap approach. I think that works the best, where you just literally explore by touch. Don't take your middle finger off the screen and then use your index finger to tap the screen. That's what I do.
Yeah, I agree. That's how I answer it. It's very quick. Now, you also mentioned that people can hear what you're typing. You're absolutely right. But I find I always, do an extra little sweep around the screen so it shouts out some extra numbers if I'm in somewhere crowded. Because have you ever noticed that if you say to someone, okay, give us your telephone number, and as you're using VoiceOver to type it in, they're constantly going, oh, no, you typed a 5. No, I didn't type a 5. I just passed over a 5. I know what I'm doing here. So it's the same with PIN codes, but you are right. I mean, they probably could figure it out. But if you do use Stephen's method, if you start split tapping in, you'll find that actually it's almost like you get muscle memory of the location, and you'll find it may read out the first number, and then you're doing it so fast that actually people won't be able to get it.
And you could turn the volume down just a little bit in that moment. You could plug in a pair of earbuds at that point. I mean, there's lots of things we can do and we have to think about in these situations. You can also change auto lock as well, which is helpful. I don't think you can turn auto lock off, can you, if you've got a PIN code? I think you've got to have the PIN code. I can't remember now. You
used to be able, so your phone would never automatically lock. So you can have like 30 seconds all the way up to 5 minutes or something, which can help if you suddenly take a drink of tea or coffee and put your phone down for a second, and the next time you pick it up, it's locked. It can be annoying. So yeah, you could look into that. I think there is a never, so it never auto locks, but I haven't looked in a long time. I
think when you do that, it says that it basically negates your Apple Pay. Well, it negates anything that requires security, basically.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's been a while. But I know I always tried to set it to never because, it just annoyed me all the time. This constant switching off would drive me mad. And with you, I would want it on all the time, so.
But yeah, like I said, I think, it may be very individual, but I don't personally have a problem with Face ID. I think it works really well. It's not always the most convenient over Touch ID. Touch ID is still more convenient than Face ID. I agree.
Yeah.
But it does work well for me.
I wonder, because it does seem there's a lot of people out there who don't have passcodes on their phone. This is becoming commoner. I'm just beginning to hear about this. But it seems to be, that people don't like having them, and then realize if you want to get the benefits of something like Apple Pay, for example, then you're going to want to have this. I actually found, and this might be helpful to you, although it depends if you've got an Apple Watch or not, but if you have an Apple Watch, Apple Pay is much better there because you don't need to enter any pins. Once the phone is paired, once it's all connected up, once you're heading out on the day, you've got your watch unlocked through your phone, you can use Apple Pay without any touch, without any passcodes, without anything. You don't need Face ID, you don't need any of that stuff. You just walk around, you just double click your button on the side of the watch, and that's it. Apple Pay is available to you. So that can speed the process up a little bit, and I use that when I'm out and about. It's much quicker. I don't have to think about getting Face ID right and trying to get the phone right. And of course, if it doesn't quite, it's that thing as well. Sometimes I do Apple Pay too early. And so, you're waiting for the person to say, I'm like, okay, can I scan now?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not ready yet.
Give me a minute. And you're like, oh God. And then it says, wait, or, do it again, or whatever it says. And oh God, here we go. I've got to do all this again. So, there's ways around it. There are ways around it. But keep your phone secure is what I say. I mean, again, I'm, as you know, I don't go out that much. And when I do go out, I'm in my local village. It's not as if I'm traveling far. But for me, it's always about just that off chance that someone steals the phone or grabs the phone out of my hand. If that was to happen, okay, it might not happen, right? But if it did, they'd have access to everything. They'd have access to all my information. So this way, at least it's locked. And when I get home, I can disable that phone. And, I can remotely, control, get rid of it and, not have to worry about someone getting into it. You could even, I think you can still do this where you can set it where if you make like 10 wrong entries of the PIN, it will just erase the phone entirely.
Yeah. I haven't gone that far. I'm always terrified.
No, I have. I've set that up. I like that. The only thing I didn't turn on was that stolen device protection thing. That confuses the hell out of me. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I did read into it when it was released. I can't remember about it now, but it just adds extra protection. But I can't remember what it is now. We'll have to look into that.
I don't have a clue.
Okay.
Okay, time for one more. Mark's here.
Hello, Stephen and Shaun. It's Mark from good old Hertfordshire in the UK.
Hey, Mark.
My first message to you guys, well, certainly your first voice message. Love the show. Highlight of my weekdays every single day. Love the extra as well. Thank you. You guys do a fab job, and I've learned tons through listening to you lot.
Thank you.
I was listening to tonight's show, the one before you go to Sight Village. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go there. I'm busy with training and then competing on Wednesday. I compete at dressage. I'm a horse rider. Something I didn't think I'd be able to do when my sight went, but with a lot of help, I've been able to, and I absolutely love the fact I can keep doing it. Listening to today's show, I just wanted to say I think I'm with Shaun on the whole minimal baggage and as much as possible squeezed into pockets.
Amen.
Whenever I buy a new body warmer, the first thing I do is find out how many pockets it has. I currently have 2 body warmers that each have 7 pockets. And then I love it in the winter because I'm wearing a coat as well. So I've got at least another 4 or 5 pockets there. And I get regularly taken the mickey out of when I go to the yard because my boot bag doesn't just have my hat, boots, stick, and gloves. It will also have a couple of bags of carrots. It will have a can of drink, my lunch, and whatever else I decide to cram into it. And it is pretty much bursting at the seams. Of course, it's a lot lighter when I'm coming home because I end up either eating or depositing a lot of what I've taken aside from my personal essentials like my hat, boots, gloves, etc. They come home with me. But I'm absolutely with Shaun on this. Less bags, more pockets. Keep up the good work, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
Cheers. Take care. Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. I'm just want to check. Do you put your boots in your jacket as well? What kind of pockets are these? Are you putting boots and hats and jackets and carrots and goodness knows what? I can't see that C word around here because
carrots.
Coco loves them.
Coco loves carrots.
If you say that word, she
carrots.
is. Oh no,
carrots.
Don't say it. No, Don't say it.
Cooked carrots or
no?
I'll
tell you, if you start that, I'm doing this. Yeah, there you go. That's your punishment.
Fletcher down. I agree with you. Now, Stephen Scott, I know you're a fan of the gilet. So
I love a gilet. Yes,
you do, don't you? Yes, you're like I don't know. You're like a sailor every time I see you with your life preserver on. But they must have lots of pockets in them.
No, see, the problem for me is being a rather large gentleman. When I wear a jacket like that, if I was to put anything into the pocket, I think my body would look like the side of the Titanic after it hit the iceberg.
As a larger gentleman, you should be able to get more stuff in your pockets. Larger gentlemen, bigger pockets.
Because the problem is those gilets, especially those ones that are like puffy, you know, they've got, it's a bit like that, those Amazon parcels you get where you get these little bags of air inside them. I like pulling them apart. And
I know,
boop, I like doing that. It's like it's like blind bubble wrap, you know.
Childish. So childish.
But you know, the problem is with these jackets, they're so like that. You know, I'm a big guy. It doesn't help. You know, I look like I'm wrapping 5 tires around myself.
Thank you, Mark. And dressage, very cool, sir. I was
going to bag for God's
sake. No, you don't need one bag for life. That's what I say.
Oh, suitcase. That's what I'd need. No way. And a wheelie case. That's the answer to everything.
They're really good. hit that button. I think we're right.
God, yeah, I think we're done. Yeah, that's...
I was going to make a joke about dressage and how I could do it because I can dress myself. And then I realised I buttoned my shirt incorrectly and I put a button in the wrong. So I better not.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, our listeners are the smarter people around here. And you're just proving it yet again, Mark. Thank you so much for listening. And it's wonderful to have your contribution. First time on the show. Keep it coming. Same to everyone else. Thank you for your contributions. If you sent one in, don't worry, we're getting there. We are getting there. We're catching up at last. I think we're almost into 2026 with our contributions, but almost. We'll get into more tomorrow and plenty more news on the way as well. Check out our feed, of course, for lots of content. And, of course, don't forget that you can sign up for our newsletter as well. Catch up with everything that's happening here at Double Tap. doubletaponair.com/subscribe. Shaun Preece will be back tomorrow.
We will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.